okay, and Steph Curry and what them boys have been doing. LeBron James, we are going to stop this right now in terms of calling him the best in the world based on the present moment.
I agree.
The last several years, yes. The beginning of the season, yes. Since he's come back, he does not look like himself, and we're going to call it like that. We're going to call it like that.
On the Tuesday, Stephen A.
So you are on the record. You started this segment by saying from this day forward, we're going to stop calling LeBron James the best player.
Until you start playing like it again. Yes.
I would agree with that. If LeBron would have the last 20 games of the season be a 35-point per game, 9 assists, 9 rebound extravaganza like last season's playoffs, then yeah, I'll put him back number one. But right now, no.
I predicted before this season began that by the end of the season, LeBron James would no longer be the best player in the world. I predicted that Anthony Davis would replace him.
That's what's so disappointing, man. I had Anthony Davis as this season's MVP. And this dude's mind was so much on teaming up with his boo-thang LeBron James, his idol, his boyhood idol, that he shorted himself and he shorted his team.
Actually, you said next season.
I said the end of this season.
No, Stephen A., he said this year. He said that by the end of this season, Anthony Davis would surpass LeBron James, even though he also said that LeBron James is light years ahead of everybody else. So as usual, Max Kellerman just talks out of his ass.
And he said Anthony Davis.
You just
I said Anthony Davis.
That's accurate.
And I was incorrect. The answer, if it's going to be someone, is the Greek Freak. The Greek Freak is the best player in the world right now.
I would agree with that.
But let me tell you why it's premature to say LeBron James is no longer the best player in the world. Number one, you mentioned it, he's hurt. You can watch LeBron James, whatever the groin injury is, he is not fully recovered. He's not moving like LeBron James.
Let me say this, though. At that age, he might never get back to what he was. You never know. There are differing reports on what exactly the issue is with him. Some people are saying that it's a problem with his groin. Some people are saying that it's an issue with a sports hernia. I have to wait and see next year. We'll have to wait and see until the beginning of next season to watch and make sure that we can verify that the explosiveness has returned.
Now, injury, that's part of aging. And if he starts to get nicked up all the time in such a way that his capacity as a player is limited, well, that means that he's no longer the best. But this is just one injury right now. And most importantly, Stephen A., it's the regular season. The lesson of sports: patience, 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 patience. Just when your patience is run out, more patience when it comes to a guy like LeBron James. Every year it gets worse and worse. His back up against the wall, worse and worse. The clock ticking. Oh my God, there's no time. Think about the Cavs last year. They're cooked. And then LeBron James turns it on. They make the playoffs, and then they start knocking teams out of the playoffs. When it comes to LeBron James, before you can say he is no longer the best player in the world, we have to see the playoffs unfold. Now, if they don't make the playoffs, all right, LeBron, if the Greek Freak is balling out in the playoffs and you're not there, he might pass you. If LeBron makes the playoffs and he's limited in some way and he doesn't look like LeBron, all right. But LeBron James' career has shown us the playoffs start, and then we go, oh, did we say that KD or James Harden or someone's better than you? Sorry, LeBron. Sorry about that. And since it's not the playoffs yet, you simply can't say that yet.
Well, listen.
Let me say this. For the people who believe that Kevin Durant is the best player in the world, you certainly have a lot of empirical data to move in that direction and have something of substance to say. With me, it's about a lot more than just the numbers. And, of course, he also has the winning on his side. But we know he's on a team that's perfect for him. And he really should not leave that squad. But that's a digression. Just to get back to the point, Kevin Durant has to show me leadership skills. He's such a great weapon that people confuse him for being greater than he actually is overall. Now, I would like to see him on a team where he's the sole guy or he's the person who's meant to be the engine on the squad, just to see how he reacts. Now, we got an inkling of that back in 2014 when he won the MVP, because Westbrook missed a lot of games and he was still able to lead his team to a lot of victories, and his proficiency numbers were out of this world. His PER was actually higher than LeBron James's. I'm trying to remember if he won the scoring title that year. I believe that he might have won the scoring title that season. So he did deserve it. That was one of the few rare moments where we got to see KD as a potential leader. They flamed out in the playoffs, I believe, against Memphis. I think that was the moment where the OKC newspaper called him out. At the same time, I still have to see it right now. I have to see KD, and I don't think that we can ever see that in Golden State. And I believe that that's the reason why KD is going to leave Golden State, because I think that he's telling himself, I came to Golden State to prove that I was better than LeBron. I've won 2 championships, might win a third, and they're still not willing to say that I'm better than LeBron James. So I'm going to have to go to a whole other location. I can't go back to OKC because my name is Mud there. I can't go to DC because that's a shithole. That whole team is just in the dumps. So maybe I can go either to the Clippers, a moribund franchise, or I can go to the Knicks and resurrect a moribund franchise that has a lot of lore surrounding it in a legendary classic arena that I love to play in. So that's what's going on in Kevin Durant's mind right now. But he knows that there are some factors and some reasons for why they still will not call him the best player over LeBron James.
Listen, I think you're wrong. And here's why I think you're wrong. Because we're hearing LeBron James continuously open his mouth and point the finger in a different direction other than himself. Max, you have even acknowledged when we've argued about Kevin Durant, when we've argued about the Greek Freak and others, you have conceded, defense is a part of the equation, which is why you have held some things against James Harden other than his ability to hit shots. By the way, he was awful from three-point range last night. See, it's not just the postseason. Sometimes in a game during the regular season, James Harden might have those nights for three-point range.
Just don't have it in Game 7.
All I'm saying to you, that doesn't mean you're choking. It means it happens.
When it happens in Game 7, it's the best definition of choke.
No. If it happens where you're missing everything, that's different.
Yeah.
If you're hitting shots, but not from three-point range, that's different. So in other words, what I'm saying to you is, listen, because I don't want to get off my point. You're hitting 17-foot, 15-footers, 17-footers, but you're not hitting three-pointers, okay? Then guess what? Your three-point shot is not falling. But if the other shots are falling, that doesn't mean you're choking. All I'm saying to you is this. When we talk about the Greek Freak, when we talk about an Anthony Davis, when we talk about a Kevin Durant even, we conceded that one of the reasons that makes them so great is because they've elevated their game defensively. That is not an accusation that you have or anybody else has leveled against LeBron James. He have not elevated his game defensively. A matter of fact, it's dissipated drastically, I might add. I am watching this man. They are having a field day. They literally showed on SportsCenter last night and on NBA TV, if I remember correctly. You saw a little, because I watched the game. I watched the game last night.
Wow, you actually watched the game, Stephen A. Smith? So what have you been doing all those times you've been talking about basketball and you just talk shit? You haven't been watching, you just been making stuff up, huh?
Last night, and I'm watching, and they literally froze how LeBron James was standing around as one offensive rebound after another was getting tapped out or what have you. He was standing around like a statue. Now, obviously, that was early in the game than later, so you might be conserving your energy. I can respect that. But the reality is, I have watched and I have seen guys take advantage of him when they have the ball in their hands. They literally want the ball when they see LeBron James guarding him. That's the problem.
What I say before. 1, it's the regular season. 2, the groin obviously is not 100%. Let's talk about the regular season LeBron James. The best LeBron James, what will go down as his absolute peak, was the 3rd year in Miami, the 2nd of the back-to-back championships.
Yeah, that was his best all-around season. That was him at his absolute best.
That's when LeBron, over the course of the entire season, was the best two-way player he ever was, and it extended through the playoffs. Since then, LeBron has correctly responded to his body. He's taken his foot off the pedal.
Well, also what really happened there, Max Kellerman, and this is just my view of it, and I stated this in another video. LeBron James wanted to be, I believe, the 3rd player ever to win an MVP and also a Defensive Player of the Year award. That had only been done by Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. He won the MVP, but they gave the Defensive Player of the Year award to Marc Gasol. And I don't think that he's ever gotten over that. And since then, he said, bump all that. I'm not going to give 100% on defense because they're going to rob me anyway.
During the regular season, particularly on the defensive end, so that in high leverage situations in the playoffs, he can put the pedal to the metal. That's what he's done in recent years. It is too early to say that that won't happen again, particularly when he's injured. And finally, what has been consistent throughout LeBron's career in recent years has been at the trade deadline, the reinforcements come. They did not come this time.
Well, why does he need reinforcements if he's the greatest player in the world, Max Kellerman? Isn't he the guy who supposedly brings all his teammates together? You know, brothers, you notice how they've stopped talking about how much LeBron brings his teammates together over the last 7-8 months or so, as it started to dawn on them that this nonsense that they've been pushing to the masses or to their viewers that LeBron is a team guy and everybody loves playing with him, and stars from all across the league want to come play with him, that it just makes no sense. There's no data backing it. So now they're trying to go to this new sentiment of, well, LeBron can't win because they were unable to make the big trade that normally gets made to help him out. Why is it that LeBron always has to ship out teammates and ship in new teammates? You know why that is? Because he makes the locker room and the overall atmosphere of the franchise that he's on so untenable that people have to go to get detoxified somewhere else.
This is the team he's going to.
Well, let me say this to you. You just talked about, didn't you just talk about patience? Mm-hmm. Did I not just exercise patience by listening to that drivel? You sounded like an apologist, Max Kellerman.
That's exactly what he is.
You sounded like an apologist. The fact that
someone who remembered the playoffs the last 10 years.
Excuse me, we appreciate the history lesson. History major, thank you very much. I'm so touched.
But
I think so. Yes, he
was.
It
all makes sense now.
It all makes sense now.
Coming together.
What did you major?
Communications. And then I got a master's in journalism.
Can't you tell? I mean, the bottom line is this, Max Kellerman. I appreciate where you're coming from. I truly do. But the reality is simple. You're being an apologist because those years, he took defensive plays off too. Didn't accept the defensive assignment the way Kawhi Leonard and others did.
We got him
Paul George did.
And they made playoff runs every
Okay.
By the way,
the best player.
LeBron might not be the best player in the world anymore, but he did become the first player in NBA history to reach top 10 all-time in both points and assists. That happened last night.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see over the course of this season if LeBron James is able to, quote-unquote, activate it, as he says, throttle up the engine, and maybe regain that top spot when it comes to the NBA's hierarchy of best players. So peace.